if you've been waiting, if you've been praying and it feels like nothing's changing, if your heart is tired of silence and you've started to wonder, God, are you still here? Then this message is for you. Breathe, because tonight he wants to remind you, your questions don't push him away. They draw him closer. My beloved, you don't have to hide your questions from me. You've walked through the long corridors of your mind, haven't you? Those quiet places where no one else goes, where you keep the thoughts you're afraid to say out loud. I see you there, standing at the locked doors of your own heart, wondering if it's even okay to knock. You've been told that faith means never doubting, that holiness means having all the right answers. But child, that's not what I ask of you. Faith isn't the absence of questions, it's the courage to bring them to me. When you whisper, God, are you really here? When you look at the darkness and wonder if I'm still listening, that's not rebellion. That's trust in its purest form, because to question me is to believe that I am still near enough to hear you. So come, step into this quiet space with me. You don't have to fix your trembling before you approach. You don't have to polish your words or pretend your heart isn't breaking. I already know, and I'm not offended by your uncertainty. You see, a relationship built on performance will always crumble. But love, real love, can hold the weight of your doubt. Your uncertainty doesn't push me away. It draws me closer. Look at the trees in winter. Their branches seem lifeless, their roots hidden beneath frozen ground. But even then, they are not abandoned. Beneath the silence, the roots are deepening, preparing for the promise of spring. That's how your faith grows too, in the quiet, in the not knowing, when your prayers seem to echo back unanswered, and you wonder if you've lost your way. That's when your roots are finding depth. So breathe, right here, right now. Let the stillness wrap around you like a warm blanket. You don't need to prove your strength to me. Your honesty, that trembling, open-hearted honesty, is already an act of worship. Ask your questions. Cry your prayers. Let your doubt rise like incense, because I can handle it. I'm not fragile, and I don't withdraw when you struggle to believe. When you say, God, I'm not sure anymore, I don't turn away. I stay. Even your questioning heart is sacred ground to me. Remember this, faith isn't about pretending the darkness isn't real. It's about trusting that I'm still with you inside it. The silence you fear is not empty. It's full of my presence, waiting to meet you in the very place you thought was too uncertain to be holy. So let your heart be honest. Let your prayers be messy. Let your faith be human, fragile, trembling, unfinished. Because I am not measuring your belief by how certain you feel, but by your willingness to come to me anyway. In this moment, your questions are not failures. They are invitations, small sacred doors leading deeper into my heart. You do not disappoint me when you wonder. You move closer. And if all you can say tonight is, are you still here? Then I smile. Because that whisper is proof that you're still reaching out, a child. I'm right here, always have been. And even in the silence, I'm listening, my child. Sometimes faith feels like standing in the middle of winter, doesn't it? The ground looks frozen, the sky feels silent, and everything in you whispers, nothing is growing. But I tell you, not all growth is visible. You see, the deepest roots are formed in the coldest soil. When the surface seems barren, the unseen work continues quietly below. That's where your strength is being built, beneath the silence, beneath the stillness, in places no one else can see. I know you're waiting for change, for answers, for something to bloom again. And sometimes that waiting feels like failure. Like maybe you did something wrong, or maybe I've gone quiet. But listen, silence is not absence. Waiting is not punishment, it's preparation. Think of a seed buried deep in the earth. From the outside it looks forgotten, even lifeless. But inside something sacred is happening. The shell is breaking. Roots are searching for water. The seed is learning how to hold on before it ever reaches the light. That's what's happening in you. I don't ask you to have perfect answers or unshakable confidence. I ask only this, stay. Stay in my presence. Even when your prayers echo back unanswered, stay. Even when your faith feels like a whisper instead of a song. Because I do my best work in those quiet places where you keep showing up despite not seeing results. You think doubt makes you weaker, but it's actually what refines you. A faith that's never questioned is a faith that never matures. It's okay to wrestle, to wonder, to say, God, I don't understand. I'm not threatened by your honesty, I am moved by it. Do you remember the orchard in winter? Every branch bare, every leaf fallen, every trace of fruit gone. But the orchard is not dead. It's resting. It's gathering strength for a new season. The frost is not the end, it's the hidden beginning of spring. That's how I see your heart. You call it emptiness. I call it readiness. You call it delay. I call it depth. You call it waiting. I call it growing. So when you find yourself asking, why is nothing changing? Look again, not at what's missing, but at what's forming. Every question you've asked is a seed planted in the soil of your soul. And in time, with light and patience, it will bloom into wisdom, compassion, resilience. There's beauty in becoming, even when the process feels invisible, because faith isn't measured by how much you understand. It's measured by how much you're willing to trust while you don't. So don't rush the winter. Don't curse the silence. Let your roots go deep. Let the unseen become holy. And when the time is right, when the warmth of my promise touches you again, you'll see that what felt empty was actually sacred ground. The very place where I was teaching your heart how to hold hope that lasts. Every moment of waiting has meaning. Every question carries purpose. And even when nothing seems to move, I am still growing something beautiful within you. So rest, beloved. You are not falling behind. You are being rooted, and one day soon what was hidden will rise in full bloom. And you'll see that I never stopped working, not even for a second, my beloved. You keep wondering if this waiting means you've been forgotten, if the silence means I've turned away. But I want you to hear me clearly. No day is wasted, not one. Every sunrise, every sigh, every quiet tear you've shed in the dark, I've seen it all. And I have been with you in every moment, even the ones you thought were empty. You see, what you call delay, I call development. What you call silence, I call shaping. I am not punishing you. I am preparing you. There are lessons that only time can teach. There is a kind of strength that only grows when you stay, when you keep showing up even when nothing seems to move. And you, my child, are growing stronger than you realize. Think about the ocean for a moment. The waves never stop moving, forward, backward, rising, falling. They don't rush to reach the shore. They trust the rhythm I gave them. And in that rhythm they shape the sand, smooth the stones, carve valleys, and make beauty over time. That's how your life moves too. Not in sudden leaps, but in the slow, sacred rhythm of becoming. You may not see it yet, but I am in your in-betweens, in the days that look ordinary, in the hours you call wasted. Those are the hours I'm teaching you to breathe deeper, to trust wider, to stand firmer. When it feels like I'm silent, I am listening more closely than ever. When it seems like I'm far, I am standing right beside you. Steady, patient, unhurried. You measure progress by what's visible, but I measure it by what's eternal, by the patience growing in your heart, by the faith that doesn't collapse under delay. Every time you choose not to give up, that's a hidden victory. Every time you whisper, I'll trust you anyway, that's a triumph heaven celebrates. Sometimes the greatest miracles don't look like parting seas or sudden breakthroughs. They look like quiet endurance, like getting out of bed on the day your hope feels thin, like choosing to believe again when your heart still aches, like standing on the shore at dawn, watching the first light stretch across the waves, knowing that light always returns. That light, it's me. The same way the ocean waits for sunrise, your heart waits for the warmth of my promise. And just as the morning never fails to come, so will my faithfulness never fail you. Child, I know the nights feel long. I know the weight of uncertainty presses against your chest. But I promise you, every moment of waiting has purpose. I am working in the unseen. What looks like stillness is often my hands at work. weaving things together that will one day make sense. Don't despise the small steps. Don't rush the slow days, even when your prayers feel unanswered. They are not unheard. I store every word, every ache, every longing, and I turn them into something holy. Be faithful in the little things. Be patient in the pauses, because in my timing, what you've sown in faith will rise like the morning sun. And when that day comes, when the first light breaks across your horizon, you will look back and realize that not a single day was wasted, that even in your stillness I was moving, even in your silence I was speaking, even in your sorrow I was planting joy for the season ahead. So take heart, beloved. The dawn is nearer than you think. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Keep your faith steady like the tide. And remember, patience is not a pause in my plan. It is part of my perfect design. Every wave that returns to the shore, every morning that chases the dark away, is my reminder to you I am still here, still moving, still faithful, still making all things new, one quiet moment at a time. My beloved, I know how much you long for clarity. You've asked me again and again, when will things make sense? When will I finally see the purpose behind this waiting? But child, sometimes faith isn't about knowing where the path leads. It's about learning to walk when the path is hidden. You think that if only you could understand everything, peace would come. But peace doesn't live in explanations. It grows in trust. The kind that stays steady even when everything feels uncertain. Every delay, every disappointment, every door that didn't open, none of it was wasted. Each moment was shaping you quietly from the inside out. Because I do not measure your life by speed or visible success. I measure it by the honesty of your heart. I see your efforts, the ones no one else notices, the small steps, the silent prayers, the quiet perseverance. You think you're standing still, but like a river carving its way through stone, you are shaping something eternal. A river never rushes to prove its strength. It just keeps flowing, steady, persistent, unseen. It carries life wherever it goes, even when it moves through dark valleys or beneath the earth where no light reaches. That's what your faith looks like to me. Not loud, not flawless, but faithful. And here's what I want you to know. Waiting is not the same as being forgotten. The silence you feel is not distance, it's closeness. You are being held tighter, drawn nearer, shaped deeper. I know you don't always feel that. There are nights when doubt knocks louder than hope, when fear whispers that you've been left behind, and you start to wonder if your prayers have gone unheard. But beloved, I am not absent in the uncertainty. I am right there, in the space between the question and the answer, in the moment when faith trembles but doesn't quit. You see, I don't just accept your doubts and fears, I welcome them. They are not signs of weak belief. They are seeds of real faith, because faith isn't pretending you never worry. It's choosing to keep walking even while your heart still wonders. Every ache, every longing, every whispered, "Why, God?" is a prayer I receive with tenderness. You don't offend me when you bring me your confusion. You honor me by trusting that I can hold it. Think of how a river meets the ocean. The current resists at first, unsure where it's going, colliding with waves larger than itself. But eventually the river learns that its destination was never the shore, but surrender. That's where peace begins, not in control, but in release. So let go of your need to understand every detail. Let your heart breathe in the mystery. I am doing more beneath the surface than your eyes can see. The ground that feels uncertain is the very place I am planting new hope. And one day, what seems confusing now will reveal its quiet purpose. You are not failing when you don't have all the answers. You are simply living the truth of faith, that love often leads you through what you don't understand before it shows you what you've become. So rest, my child. Don't fight the fog, walk with me through it. Don't rush the process. Let me shape you in it. Your uncertainty does not separate you from me. It draws me closer still. Because faith, real faith, isn't built in perfect moments. It's built in the sacred tension of the unknown. You are not lost. You are being led gently, patiently, purposefully, by hands that never let go. And someday, when the water's clear and the light returns, you'll see that every question, every ache, every quiet moment of trust was the very soil where your faith took root and began to bloom. My beloved, I see how hard you've tried to hold everything together. I know the weight you carry, the moments you've whispered, "God, I'm not strong enough," and I want you to hear me. Your weakness does not disappoint me. You think strength means never stumbling, never breaking down, never losing your calm. But the truth is, real strength is born in the breaking. It's found in the moments you choose to rise again, even when your hands are trembling. When you feel small, fragile, uncertain, that's not failure. That's the place where my grace meets you most deeply. Think of a lighthouse standing on the edge of a storm. Waves crash against its base. The fog hides its light, yet even when no one can see it, the beam keeps shining, steady, faithful, unwavering. That's you, my child. Even in the fog of fear, even when your light feels dim, you are still shining. And that faint glow is enough to pierce the darkness. I never asked you to be perfect. I asked you to be present, to keep showing up, even when your faith feels small. Every prayer you whisper through tears, every time you breathe out, "Help me keep going," why, I see it. And to me, those moments are holy. You measure progress by success. I measure it by surrender. You look at your limits and see weakness. I look at them and see beauty, because humility opens the door for grace to flood in. I am not waiting for you to perform or to prove your worth. I am already pleased when you turn to me, not as the strong one, but as the beloved who trusts even while trembling. Do you remember the song of your life? It's not meant to be flawless. It's not a melody of constant triumphs or endless praise. It's a symphony, one filled with highs and lows, crescendos and pauses, notes of joy and notes of pain. Every note matters, even the rests, even the silences between your words are part of the music I am composing in you. You might hear only dissonance now, mistakes, missed beats, unfinished verses, but I hear harmony being written through your faithfulness. The pauses in your story are not proof of failure. They're the places where I breathe, where I add depth, texture, meaning. So don't be afraid of your imperfections. They are not stains to hide. They are brushstrokes of honesty on the canvas of your becoming. Every scar, every crack, every doubt, they make you real. And I work best through what's real, not what's polished. When you fall short, when your patience runs thin, when your strength fades, I do not withdraw. I lean closer, because what matters most to me is not how perfectly you perform, but how honestly you let me in. I want you to see that your smallest effort, your quiet endurance, your whispered prayers, your choice to love even when it hurts, are treasures to me. Nothing you offer is too little. Nothing you bring is too broken. I gather every fragment, every note, and weave them into something eternal. When you think, "I've failed too many times," I whisper, "You've trusted one more time, and that's what matters." When you say, "I can't see my progress," I say, "You're growing roots where no one's looking." When you feel lost in the fog, I say, "Lift your eyes, beloved, the light still shines." Your worth was never measured by perfection. It's measured by my love, constant, unchanging, unshaken by your flaws. So let your soul breathe. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to hide your cracks or your doubts. You only need to stay open, to believe that I can turn your smallest spark of faith into something radiant. The melody of your life isn't finished yet. And even if it sounds quiet now, even if all you hear are the low notes, remember this: every note still belongs to the song I'm writing with you. And one day when you hear it whole, you'll see that the beauty was never in your perfection. It was in your persistence, your honesty, and your courage to keep singing through the storm, my beloved. I know it's hard to watch others move ahead while your own path feels still. You see their blessings, their progress, their answered prayers, and you start to wonder, why not me? But listen, you and they do not share the same garden. Each of you carries a different seed, planted in soil only I understand. Each of you has a season, a rhythm, a divine timetable woven by my hands. The fruit that ripens early is not better than the fruit that takes its time. It's simply different, nourished by its own sun, shaped by its own storms. And what looks like delay in your life is not neglect. It is preparation. You see, I'm not in a hurry. I'm not counting days the way the world does. I measure growth by depth, not speed. By how your roots reach deeper, not how quickly you bloom. When you feel behind, I am shaping something eternal. When you feel unseen, I am sculpting your heart in the quiet. Think of the potter's hands. The clay doesn't understand why it's pressed, stretched, or turned in circles. But every touch is intentional. Every pause between my movements has purpose. I'm not discarding you. I'm refining you. Sometimes I hide what I'm building until it's strong enough to last. Because if I gave you everything too soon, the weight of the blessing could crush what's still forming inside you. So I let time do its holy work, softening, strengthening, steadying. In the silence, I am near. In the waiting, I am working. In what feels like nothing, I am creating something sacred. Do not compare your path to another's. You are not behind. You are being perfected for a purpose that is uniquely yours. The garden of your life will bloom in its appointed season, and when it does, you will understand why the wait was necessary. Child, the delay is not a punishment. It is a whisper from me. Trust my timing. For I am not slow as you understand slowness. I am precise. And everything I've promised will come. Exactly when your heart is ready to carry it. So breathe. You have not missed your moment. Nothing good has slipped through your fingers. The doors that are still closed are not locked against you. They are being prepared to open at the right time. Remember the waves, how they retreat before they rise again. That backward pull is not loss. It's momentum. It's gathering strength to carry you farther than before. The same is true for your life. When I pull you back into stillness, it's not to withhold. It's to anchor. So that when you move forward, you move with depth, not just direction. Don't despise the waiting. Don't curse the slowness. In this quiet space, I am remaking your heart, shaping your faith, tuning your vision to see beyond what's immediate. This is not the end. This is the forming of something beautiful. So stop comparing your timeline to anyone else's. Stop doubting your pace. Every delay, every pause, every silent day carries my fingerprints. You are right on time, my time. And when the moment comes, when the season turns and the garden you thought was barren bursts into bloom, you'll look back and see that every delay was mercy. Every silence was grace. And every moment of waiting was a sacred invitation to trust me deeper than before. My beloved, your journey has not been about finding every answer. It has been about learning how to rest in my presence, even when answers never come. You've wrestled with silence, carried questions heavier than words, and waited through nights that felt endless. And yet, here you are, still reaching, still hoping, still believing, even in the in-between. That is what faith truly is. Not the certainty of every step, but the courage to keep walking when the road disappears into mist. Faith is not a trophy for those who have everything figured out. It's the quiet endurance of those who keep showing up. Heart open even when they don't understand, child. I have seen you in the shadows. When your prayers felt like echoes, I've seen you in the stillness. When your hope flickered, but did not die. And I want you to know, I was there in every moment. In your trembling, in your waiting, in your wondering. The world teaches that faith means having no doubts. But I tell you, faith means choosing to stay, even with your doubts in hand. It's trusting that my presence is enough, even when clarity is not. Every unanswered question has been shaping you. Every moment of confusion has been stretching your roots deeper into trust. And what you thought was the end was actually the beginning of something new. You see, faith that has walked through darkness becomes different. It's no longer fragile, it's alive. It breathes with compassion, with patience, with understanding. It no longer needs to control. It simply abides, Your journey was never about finding a perfect path. It was about finding me along the way. In every pause, in every whisper, in every quiet breath you took when words were too heavy. You don't need to know what tomorrow will bring. You only need to remember that you are not walking alone. I am the steady presence beside you, the constant heartbeat beneath your chaos. And even now I am here, closer than your next breath, softer than your fear, stronger than the silence you thought might break you. So, rest now. You don't have to strive to earn what has already been given. You don't have to fix what I am already healing. You don't have to chase me. I've been here all along. Look back. Do you see it? Every step, every delay, every question, they've been part of the same sacred story. Your story, our story. And it's still being written. You have not been abandoned. You have been accompanied, shaped, held, and loved through every twist and turn. So when the world tells you that faith is certainty, remember this: faith is trust. Faith is surrender. Faith is staying in the mystery and finding me there. Because I am not only the God of answers, I am the God of presence, of hope reborn, of love that never leaves. So hear me now as clearly as I spoke in the beginning. I am still here. I have never left you. And the story we are writing together is far from over. Let this truth settle deep into your spirit. Hope is not lost. Faith is not broken. And love, my love, is still holding you even now. Breathe, child. The dawn is near, and your faith is being reborn. Take a deep breath. Even in the silence, he is still speaking. Even in the waiting, he is still working. So hold this truth close. He has never left you. If this message touched your heart, stay a moment longer. Listen again, and let his presence remind you, you are never alone.